the purpose of tonight's meeting is just to check in with everybody, make sure everything is on track, to update everybody on changes that we have had. So in that respect, I have a list that will go down here. Nathan, we can go ahead and start with some updates from you since you need to skip out pretty quickly. I do have some questions for you. I had mentioned I want to connect with you outside the meeting, so I'll shoot you that email with my phone number. Sure. How are you doing on getting some music going?
I've had a change of heart about having live performers, and I've had a lot of kind of wishy-washy responses. And in the interest of keeping the energy up at the locations where we want sound, I'm thinking I'll just curate a 4th of July playlist and bring sound reinforcement to the things. So so there's no audio issues, and it's just kind of an upbeat thing, but people don't feel awkward. I always worry about if I can't be around to manage the sound, something being too loud or too quiet, stressing out the performer, and it's a lot of time to fill for just the few people that have even gotten back to me. So I'm kind of, in my head, I'm moving to plan B, and I kind of mentioned this to Chief Mason the other night when we ran into each other, that I'm thinking that would probably be the best party atmosphere for the town, is to have just kind of the 4th of July patriotic playlist, and I can personally, without borrowing any gear from the city, set up 3 sound reinforcement things. I might just need to get a hold of an extra iPod or something. But I think I could do 3 sites and do the drop-off setup and kind of circle around through the day to make sure that everybody's happy with what's going on, in terms of the vendors, and that the volume is appropriate. And of course I'll tap somebody that is going to be on site that day and just show them where the volume knob is, in case something gets out of control, that they want it louder or quieter.
Sure.
And I could even tape instructions off on the back of the PA, like volume with a big air, just make it foolproof, because I think a lot of times the danger is the music being too loud at these things and pushing people away from the food vendors. I want people to be able to hear themselves talk, but I want it to feel like a party. And so I think going with just a playlist is probably the safest bet with everything we need to pull off.
Okay. That sounds good. Anybody have any thoughts on that they want to address?
Yeah, I do. Nathan, we are probably going to need a 4th setup, and that can be the city setup, I guess.
Okay.
As far as the 5th location is concerned, Anytime Fitness says they can provide their own music with their own sound system.
Yeah.
Cool.
So we should be covered then if we use the city's equipment as well.
Okay. And I might be able to cobble together a 4th one on my own, come to think of it. So I'll see what I can do, if it's a big stressor to put everything together at the city level.
Shouldn't be a stressor, Nathan. We have some stuff.
Yeah, I have a pretty decent system.
Rad. Well, I would love to jump by and take a look at it, and maybe we could put our heads together and figure out where we'll need the most sound reinforcement due to acoustics.
All right, it's just a Fender 6000 or so.
Well, it's the Fender Passport, like for public speaking stuff. Okay, perfect. That'll work. Yeah. And then in that case, my setup that I used at the event the other night would be the loudest one that I have. I could split that into 2, and then all of a sudden that gives us 2 kind of loud ones and 3 appropriate background music level things.
Okay. That sounds great. Friday night, what are your thoughts on Friday night? Do you want to do a playlist as well, or are you able to put something together? You remember Friday night, we're going to have that, just a short little thing down in the park, just a
Right.
couple of hours where families can come down, do the art, pick up their packets, do the scavenger hunt through downtown, trying to draw people to come into the downtown area.
Yeah. I think again, a playlist format would be this year, in general, I want to turn Independence into a live music hub,
Hmm.
whenever possible, and have that be the local focus. That whole idea, I've just had to jettison it this year, simply because spreading out to 5 locations and setting up bands would just be, I would need a staff of like 15 people to pull that off, and
Well,
then
I can
and I would
go
need
ahead.
like 30 bands. So I don't, yeah. But so Friday, and that's not the drive-in movie, right? That's just the kind of welcome to the COVID reality 4th of July orientation.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, that'll be pre-movie time, just a couple of hours in the downtown / park area,
okay.
where we have a big enough area to set out some tables for families to come down and do some activities, pick up their family packs of crafting things that they can do the next day versus us going out and delivering them. So
Yeah. Well, if people
Just
are
something
coming
fun
in
to
and
bring.
out, I don't see the point of trying to put on a performance. If you guys feel strongly about that, I will show up and do my fingerstyle Americana guitar thing if you want it to feel more old-fashioned. Otherwise, my inclination is to make it feel like a party, and bring some excitement on the playlist. So as people roll through to grab stuff, it can kind of hopefully get them pumped up a little bit.
Mhm. Well, I think
So,
that
Nathan?
what we want and what we can actually safely commit to are two completely different things. So I think you're in the right line there. I would worry that if you had live music down there, even though it would be up on a corner, that we would still draw too many people down at once. So
People would gather
if
potentially and not
Mhm.
distance properly, and yeah.
If nothing else, throughout this whole revamping this process, I've definitely learned to roll with the punches. This event is completely fluid. It's
Yeah.
changing every day as we get closer to it. So whatever changes we need to make is what we'll run with.
Yeah, I think it's going to be virtual DJ all the way, focusing on those songs about the USA or that contain the 4th of July and all the hits that everybody knows, and associates with the 4th.
So Nathan,
Cool.
Yes.
so they can do sound at the drive-in. So if you do your playlist on a thumb drive, they can broadcast that
Mhm.
in the setup phase of the drive-in.
Okay, sure.
And I think Courtney does display, on the screen, but there's no sound to that. I don't think
Right.
we can just have it
Um,
in the background too.
and I don't know because we had kind of talked about having maybe a live band performance before the drive-in thing, but again, I'm hesitant to commit to that, not knowing what their mixing desk is or what their audio layout is for the drive-in,
Yeah, it's pretty basic. It's 2 speakers and a small board, and then they push it out through FM.
Right.
So it's pretty small. It's not real elaborate by any means.
Well, if you guys wanted to have, again, I would throw myself out there to learn a few of the 4th of July classics. If you wanted to have a live performance, I would guinea pig that. But again, I think it would be cool just to have a well curated 4th of July playlist, kind of warming up everybody as they're filing in or parking or whatever.
Nathan, I think that's in
I
keeping
agree.
to, the social distancing and the number of people we can have gathered together. So I think the playlist is a perfect idea this year.
Mhm.
It seems like the most
Yep.
reliable and the least likely to cause distancing, or the least likely to cause distancing problems. So
Cool. All right. Anybody have any thoughts or questions on that one before we move on? No. All right.
I will
Thank
not
you,
play
Nathan. I
any. I will
appreciate
not play any songs by British artists. That is a solemn promise.
Nice.
Oh.
All right, Shannon. Let's check in with you. I need to get some information out. So far, our community Facebook pages have been a lot kinder than our regular one that has a more global reach. So people are excited about the limited amount of information that we've put out there, but we're working on getting the word out for kind of more concrete details. Can you share with me the locations that you have secured completely?
Yes. I haven't received the IGA from Cease yet, but she's guaranteed me both Central and Henry Hill.
Okay.
The library parking and Fir Park, well, FOF and Fir Park, Karen's Reserve. Karen, can we use the library parking lot? I think I sent you an email about that, but I'm not sure if I got a response from you or if we just kind of crossed in the night on that.
I don't know. I don't remember seeing your email,
Okay.
but I don't know that unless the library has something else going on, I don't see that it's being a problem. Do you, Tom?
I'll check with them to make sure. Anytime Fitness was planning on using that as their starting and stopping point for the race anyway. So I think they probably coordinated that, but
Okay.
I just wanted to make sure we didn't have to do anything for the city, but I'll check in with Leanne, whomever in the library and see if there's anything going on. But so it's the two parks, the library, Central and Henry Hill.
Good deal.
If there is a problem with the library, which I don't foresee, but if there is, we can always utilize the movie theater as well. That is our parking lot.
Okay, perfect. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So Shannon, I'll send out an email in advance of yours. Our library manager started today, so I don't want to catch him totally off guard. So it'll be fine. I'll so you know, I'm going to send him a message because I'm sure it'll get passed directly to him, and he'll be like, "What?" So no worries.
Okay, and then what I'll probably do,
Awesome.
Tom,
Thanks,
is
Tom.
I've settled in for a couple of days. I will put the Anytime Fitness folks in touch with him because they're going to be the ones using that parking lot. So they may want to do some coordination with him as well.
Sounds good.
Okay, perfect.
You can have them get a hold of me too if they have any questions on like water and electrical and stuff.
As far as I know, they're planning on bringing a music system with them. They haven't mentioned any power and I haven't asked, but I'll make sure I touch base with them on that.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, and
And
those
then,
locations again
Go
were the
ahead.
high school, Henry Hill, POF, Mountain Fir, and the library,
And Central. Did you get Central as well?
Central High School.
Those are the 5.
Okay, thank you.
Uh-huh.
And the drive-in, don't forget the drive-in.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's,
There'll be people there all day on those days.
yeah. Okay. Let's see. So with the location secured, how are you doing on securing organizations to staff them?
Well, that's my question to you. How do you want me to do that? I was planning on just going out to the WIM group and starting there because I imagine for FOF and Fir Park, we're probably going to try to get neighborhood groups to take care of those. CSC
Okay.
is going to cover the Henry location. Cease and I had talked about
Awesome.
Central doing that, but I haven't heard back from her on that. And then of course, Anytime Fitness has a library. And they're willing to cover the games
Perfect.
and everything.
Good deal.
Do you agree I
Okay.
should go out to the WIM and try to scare up some neighborhood folks? Okay.
Yeah, I think WIM is a great place to start. I usually have the best response when I reach out for any community needs for this from WIM. There has been a lot of chatter on the Monmouth Independence community chat page where people, because we don't have locations put out there yet, and I have stated our reasons why we've kind of held back on locations. We're going to release those locations a little bit closer to the 4th. So people are kind of starting their own chatter about getting their own little block party going and stuff. So it's been neat to watch the community really kind of rally behind the concept of it. So I think that we'll be able to definitely get some community involvement there.
And I'm going to reach out to Ida as well for the library location. If any of the downtown folks want to get involved, that's the closest location for them.
So I think the library is covered by Anytime Fitness, isn't it?
It is, but if any of the downtown folks want to get involved too, if that's the
Oh, got
closest
it.
to get involved in. So
hey, do we need any fencing material to make the gate per se?
It might be a good idea just to be able to control the entrance and exits, just in case we get to that point where we are getting too many people. I don't know. What are your guys' thoughts about that?
Are you talking? Like
Anyone?
Aaron,
Yeah,
are you talking like our fencing panels?
yeah, that's a lot of moving them around, but
Yeah, I would think the old orange construction fence if we had to do it.
yeah, well, I have some of that too still, so.
So you still haven't painted it red, white, and blue yet, have you?
Nah, it's nice orange. Gray to me, so it works. Oh.
Can I back up? Shannon said something about a race that Anytime Fitness was sponsoring. I don't
well,
know.
it's supposed to be a virtual race, Chief, but they did say when I talked to them that some people are going to probably run the course on their own.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think it's going to be anything that's organized. It's intended to be virtual.
Is it the mini marathon route?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, people have come forward and said just out of tradition, they're still going to do it regardless of whether there's an official race. So Jen put together a virtual race, which actually is no cost to anybody to join. We're still going to have a finisher's medal. She is doing it by donation only. She's putting the cost of providing the medals and all of the literature about it. She is garnering some response already has people signed up for it. And then people have contacted them and said, hey, we're doing it along the regular route. It's always been our tradition. So expect to see some people out there.
Is it also on the regular timeline? Because we have a parade type march that's going to take place at the same time it's kicked off?
No, there's no, I mean, it's all individually based. So there's some people that actually have to work on Saturdays. So they reached out to see if they could do it on Friday, reached out to see if they could do it on Sunday. It is completely virtual. You pick the time, you pick the date, and do your thing. So the idea behind it is to try to get them to just kind of circle around the locations. But we have some diehard traditional runners that the information about that march is out there, and they're going to go for it anyway.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Janice.
Yep.
So, I mean, obviously I'm still here. So I'm here to help wherever you guys want or need me to be. And I know the Baker family, Tony Baker and his wife, I don't know if they have plans now, but I know that they were wanting to help us before the COVID stuff happened. So just let me know what I need to do.
Perfect. I'll do that. I have a couple of things in mind. So yeah, I'll definitely get in touch with you, Stacey.
All right, sounds good. Because Aaron, I believe, has dedicated my husband to the Duck Derby again. So we'll be around.
All right.
Whether he dies on the boat or not, he says. But I did tell him I
need
have
more
life
boats.
insurance on him. So I was like, there's life insurance. We're good.
All right. Well, we hope it doesn't come to that. All right. Thank you, Shannon. I appreciate it. I know you've put a lot of time and effort into that. And that's definitely been a huge part of making this a success. So I appreciate your time there.
Yep.
All right. Let's see. Aaron and Lisa, check in with you guys. Let's get an update on vendors. Well, we'll start with you, Lisa. How are you looking on getting everybody set up?
We just planned where everyone's gonna go.
Okay, you have it planned out, you have it figured out, or you're still working on it?
Yeah, it's planned out.
All right. What do you have?
All right, so at the drive-in, both nights, we're going to have, and Saturday 11 to 3, we're gonna have Pinkies, Kings Valley, and that was, okay. Well, the others during the evenings as well. We're finalizing that depending on how many we can handle. But that'll be just mobile people that can move from here to there.
Okay.
And then CHS will be Grease Lightning food truck. Henry Hill will be Gnome Nuts, hot donuts. The library will have Sweet Dreams concessions and lemon heads. Mount Fur Park will have Kai's Little Hawaiian. Hoff Park will have Go on the Go pizza.
Okay.
That's it.
That's it.
And did you say St. Pat's was going to be down at the drive-in movie area?
They're out, apparently.
Oh, they're out again?
To be determined.
Lisa, what were the 2 park vendors again, please?
Henry Hill is Gnome Nuts Hot Donuts.
Okay.
Oh, that's school.
Yeah.
Mount Park is Kai's Little Hawaiian.
Okay.
Hoff Park is Dough on the Go pizza.
Perfect. Thank you. The woman from Anytime Fitness wants to pre-position the medals at each of the food vendors. She feels that's one way to get people out and around to check out the various vendors. For instance, I guess what she's thinking is if maybe they go to one vendor and they're out of medals, they'll go to another vendor, possibly buy some food and pick up their medal. Does that sound reasonable?
Sounds like a plan.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Did we leave the library out on purpose because Gilgamesh is right there?
No, there's it's Sweet Dreams and Lemon Heads are at the library, or the big guy is at the library.
Those are the 2 that need water and power.
Now, is Sweet Dreams Troy or is it the girls?
It's the girls.
Okay. I was going to say, I thought at one point Troy was interested in kind of taking his cart around town and kind of hitting all the locations, but I don't think we've heard back from him, right, Lisa?
No.
No.
Okay. All righty. Good deal. Okay, Erin, thanks for working on that with her. I know that takes some collaboration between all 3 of you guys with Shannon involved there. How are you feeling? How are you feeling about the carnival game?
I got 4 pieces of plywood cut.
Okay.
Doing good. I'll have them all done. I need to get some paint from the hardware store, but we'll have them done by the weekend for sure.
Awesome. And then that is all, so far everything has been donated from the hardware store, right?
Yes. I do need to know about cans and the baskets and all that stuff.
Yeah. I have the cans, I have the baskets. I've started ordering all of the prizes that we're going to be using. So I'll get with you probably, well, whenever you're ready for them, I can get you the baskets and all of that stuff. And then we'll just bring the tables the day of.
Yeah, it'll be probably Saturday or Sunday that I'll be ready for all that stuff. You'll need to get a thing of tax because the hardware store only had like a package of 16 for $2, and I wasn't going to clean them out.
Okay. All right. I can do that.
Janice, do we have an idea of when we're going to know how many volunteers we need to cover the carnival games? The reason I ask is CSC is going to cover Henry Hill, and they're bringing in employees on Saturday to do that. So they want to be able to be clear with those employees what they're going to be doing and you know, some details.
Okay, I would think, oh gosh. If you're okay with it, Shannon, I want to look at the layout that we have. If I could do that after the meeting, and then I'll shoot you an email. That way I don't throw out, you know, too little or too much help needed.
That's perfect.
We've kind of tailored each location, so I'll get I'll get that for you rather than doing it on the spot.
Okay.
Okay. And then don't forget that for those of you that are available, we do want to have one person from the commission as or family member, because I think our families disown us during this time of the year, as do all of our friends. One person represented at each location. So if you, I know some of you obviously aren't going to be able to commit to that, but for those of you that can, if there's a location that strikes your fancy and you want to call dibs on it, start getting me that information.
I want Puff Park.
Okay. You want Puff Park?
I want Puff Park, yeah.
Okay.
I want the library.
Puff Park.
I want the drive-in and probably some of the library.
Say what? Is it the food that you want from those locations?
No, they're going to require the most power, so the most babysitting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Just put me down for everywhere.
We'll put you mobile for the day, because imagine I don't want you tied down to one location. I want you to be able to go wherever you're going to be needed.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
So you got me, Janice.
For the library.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I figured as much. Yep, got you in there, Karen.
Thank you.
Mobile. Okay. Hey, Stacy, is that something that maybe you and your family would be interested in? It is manning one of our locations with the organization that's going to be running it.
I definitely would. I would have to talk to the boys. I know Logan is really interested in helping, as he always is every year. Adam, you know his feelings on everything. And I think Brock works for a few hours, but at the gas station, but after he's off, him and his girlfriend could come and join us wherever we needed him.
Okay. Awesome.
Yeah, but I'm sure
I
can put Logan on the spot, but I'm sure that he would be okay doing whatever you guys needed him to do.
All right, I'll shoot you the details for what that would entail.
Alrighty.
Okay.
Sounds great. Thanks.
All right. Thank you, Stacy. Okay. Any questions about the locations or the events that are going to be going on there before we move on? No. All right.
Times? Can we get times?
What's that?
11 to 3.
Say it again.
11 to 3.
For every location, all the same.
Yep.
Yep.
And then I think the drive-in works best. We started that at 7 on Thursday, and it seemed to work really well. And then the duck derby at 4, right?
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. I don't think we really put it out there that's kind of changed a little bit. So that's on my list to come up to here shortly. Let's see. Okay. I know at our last meeting, I let you guys know I was working kind of with the city of Monmouth. They were trying to see what they could put together to somewhat mimic what we were doing, just to keep the consistency through both of the towns. They have opted just to jump in on the house decorating contest, which is amazing because I think I put this out there before. It didn't feel right limiting it to one community and not the other. So they're on board with that. They are going to format theirs either a little differently or they want to do a bunch of smaller prizes and recognize more houses, which, by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've seen some really, really killer decorations going up in town. So that's been really nice to watch people getting behind that. So kind of what I want from you guys is your feedback on, how we need to nail down the details, what specifically we want to do price-wise. I have the amount that we committed to, that we budgeted for this. How we just need to fine-tune the details, how people are going to get their submissions into us, what we want to tailor our prizes to look like. We have $500 budgeted to give back to the community in prize money for their decorations. So I want to start there and kind of get your guys' thoughts and feedback on what you guys, how you guys want to disperse that $500 between one house, two houses, three houses. We can put it out there that, we have amazing businesses that support us. We could do some honorable mention prizes of gift certificates around town too, so we can incorporate more. But what is your guys' thoughts about what you guys want to do prize-wise?
So are we going to limit it just to residents? Are we going to have any sort of business component where we encourage the businesses to decorate?
I haven't. I was supposed to get in touch with Ida, and I didn't do that part yet. So I'll make myself a note to get in touch with Ida to see if they wanted to handle the business side of things. This part of it is focused to residents in the area as well as surrounding areas. So it's not just, you don't have to just live in town. If you do live on the outskirts, that's totally fine as well. But I will make it a point to reach out to Ida to see if they want to jump on board with the businesses.
Hey, Janice, this is Kimber. I'm just kind of thinking creatively and for all of our population that maybe could participate. And I kind of had a thought about how the Thoughts and Gifts Project works. And I'm wondering if we could have a special category if we think they would use it. But for some of our long-term care facilities, if they had like a door decorating contest within the facility and encourage that and maybe get some gift certificates or honorable mentions, as you said, for the residents in those facilities to participate as well.
I love that idea. Yeah. Unless anybody has any sort of objection to that, I think that's a great idea that none of us have thought about so far. All right. Thanks, Kimber. Definitely wrote that down, but I need you guys' input on how we want to handle this prize pot we have. Do we want to do one winner, split it up between three? Like, give me your thoughts, guys.
Well, with $500, if you wanted to split it up, it'd be 300 maybe, and then 2 100s.
Okay.
Sorry, I was eating. Did you guys see what Monmouth did? Because they did theirs. It's out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it totaled. I didn't add it up.
Yeah, I thought earlier this afternoon. I think Phyllis also sent it to me via email. Let me see if I can find it again. There it is. So let's see. They're doing a bunch of different components. So they have the best theme decorations, the best window decorations for home or business, best homemade decorations, best moving parts, and best decorated vehicle. Wow, they got pretty creative.
And they're going to give a cash prize out for each of those?
Yeah, so it'll be, let's see, $100 for the best theme decorations, $50 for the best window decorations, $50 for homemade decorations, $50 for best moving parts, and $50 for best decorated vehicle. 1, 2, so a total of $300.
Why don't we just follow their lead? Make it easy. We got a little bit more money to put at it, but.
I'm all about that. No need to reinvent it if it works for everybody else. But I do want to incorporate, because we do have a little bit more in our fund. I'd like to incorporate Kimber's idea. I think that's a great addition.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah, agreed.
So that leaves us with an additional $50. We either bump up one of the prize categories, or we find an additional category to go with. What's that?
So buy more gift cards so we can hand them out to honorable mentions.
Okay.
Gift cards.
We could also have a kids category like best bike decorating or something like that for kids under a certain age.
Or you could add business. I mean, I really like supporting our businesses and try to get them engaged downtown.
The business is included in this
business, $50.
Yeah, that one's already included on this list.
What if we just did an art contest for the high schoolers, like a patriotic art thing, top prize, or something? Because I feel like
like any form of art media, or what do you have in mind?
Well, visual, something that that we could use next year in spots, like either a logo or a drawing or a painting or a piece of digital art, or it could be photography. I don't know. I feel my big regret in all of this is I had high hopes to include high school musicians in our live music stuff. Like, I just want to, send a shout out or throw a bone to the seniors that have missed out on so many of their critical high school graduation rituals and stuff. I'd like to shine the spotlight there if we can. And I understand time is close and we're flying by the seat of our pants, but it was just a thought.
No, I think it's a great idea. And I think a great platform for that would be to display it on Friday night when we're kind of out there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Is that something that you'd be willing to kind of spearhead?
I wouldn't know where to start because I'm not that plugged in with Central, especially the art department. I do know a couple seniors that have graduated. I can message them tonight and see if I get any traction. It might be cool just to approach the graphic design program directly. I know a lot of my music students kind of cross over, and that's a pretty advanced program of ours, right? The more I hear about it, like, it's pretty fleshed out at Central.
Nathan, do you think that's something the gallery on Main Street could maybe spearhead? Anything like that, you almost have to put together a jury.
Yeah, well, they could judge it. I certainly don't want to have to judge it because I will know a lot of the students that are directly involved, and it's better. I don't want to put myself in front of that train. But I would say, I think maybe the approach would be to keep it direct so it's simpler to judge. Maybe just approach the graphic design teacher or the graphic design club at Central, whoever that person is, and have them disseminate the information to their honor students or graduating graphic designers, and then maybe they collaborate and split a gift card to a restaurant they get to go out together or something. And rather than having it be a competitive thing, maybe it's a collaborative thing. But I don't know. I'm spitballing, and I actually have to run too, so I didn't mean to open another Pandora's box and then jet on you guys, but I do have to get to that other meeting. So
no, that's totally fine, Nathan. I think it's a great idea, and it might be just one that we pin for next year even, but I think that it's definitely a great idea, and we have a great platform for it. I'm concerned time-wise about taking on any more. Yeah.
Well, If
But,
you want, I can approach the graphic design program kids that I know that just graduated, and there's 2 of them, and just test the waters and see, maybe they would just be interested in doing it just to do it, because they didn't really get to do their senior projects in the way that, you know.
Yeah, if that's something that you want to reach out to them about, I think we definitely have the ability to, to give them a platform for it.
Cool.
But it's definitely something that I can't commit to.
Well, then maybe they would just donate that, and we don't have to make it like a prize or anything. It'd just be exposure for them.
It's a good idea.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. All right. Have fun at your other meeting.
I don't know that it'll be fun, but it'll be something. This is more fun. I'm going to miss you guys. I'll see you next time.
Thanks, Nathan.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So we've got the layout for the, we have the layout for the prizes. The next thing that we need to kind of nail down is how people can do their submissions. Originally we had talked about everybody taking a picture and sending it to us, which preliminarily that will let us kind of filter out, kind of who the top runners are, which will give us the ability to narrow it down and figure out who the winners are going to be. So we have a couple of platforms for that, unless somebody has a better idea. We do have Independence Day does have an Instagram account. I've been pretty passionate about staying away from our social media, only because of the global reach that we have. So that one's definitely not my favorite, but we do, we do have that ability to utilize Instagram. We can just create a hashtag for them to tag whatever category and the contest that they want to be in. We can create an email account that people can send their submissions to. This is not my forte on getting ideas out there. I work better with pen and paper than I do technology. So if anybody has any great ideas other than utilizing an email account, I'd love to hear them.
I'm all for the email account. I think that's going to be the best way to narrow. It's just, if you put it on any kind of social media, you run the risk of it getting too far and too wide.
Yep. Okay. That's kind of where my head was too, is I spent the last week kind of thinking about the best way to facilitate that. So unless anybody has something different that they want to discuss, I think I can easily create that email account and we can start monitoring that. I'll get the information, the fine details out there on Facebook on our community pages. We'll outline how to submit your pictures. Make sure you detail what category you're entering, all that stuff. So I will get that handled. I already started on a layout for a flyer for it. I'm just going to take that flyer and post it onto our local social media here. So I will fine tune that tonight with all the details and get that posted. So the chatter's already out there that it's happening. Starting to see some cool houses out there really getting decked out that I haven't seen before just in my neighborhood that I live in. So that's really cool to watch.
Janice?
Yes.
Hi. Since you were talking about, getting the details out in the community chat rooms and everything, I realize that is where we're going to get our biggest probably listen from everybody. But what I would like to propose is so that there's at least one spot where everybody can go, because we are getting so many phone calls at City Hall. If we could, even on the Independence Day's website, say, for complete details, go to, and then point them to the city's Facebook page, and then we will create a pinned post that can update all of the details and that you want to have out there. But, at least the general schedule and all of that, and then be updated regularly. And that'll send everybody one place to go. And then even in your chat rooms, it can point back to that as well.
Okay. So pointing over to the city's Facebook page, you said?
I think having one spot rather than all these other, there's 3 or 4 or 5 different chat rooms now just for Independence and
Yeah,
Monmouth.
there's a lot.
So I think we have just one spot where everybody can go for information. It'd be a lot better.
Okay.
Are you
Kimber, are you still on here? Go ahead. Sorry.
I'm sorry. Are you intentionally not using the Western Days, Independence Days platforms? There, and it all is 2019 stuff.
Yeah, we're intentionally not. When I originally put up the post, I didn't realize how global our audience was, and our social media, everything was getting blown up by people who didn't even live in the state. And so part of our concern, a big part of our concern was Independence is such a destination place for 4th of July that if people got word that something was going on, they might not have all the details and show up. So we made that decision early on to stay away from our platforms because our reach is many, many states away. People were contacting me. So, Kimber, are you still on here?
Yeah, I'm listening.
Would you be able to fix that on our webpage and just put something up there on the website directing them to the city's Facebook page?
Man, that wasn't my job this year.
Well, I know, but since you decided to be here tonight.
Yeah, just send me the language you want and the link you want it to go to, and I can do whatever you need on the web page. Is there anything else that needs updated at this point?
Not that I can think of. I really want to just keep most of the information off of there. I think just pointing it to the Facebook page, like Karen has suggested, would be a great idea. Yeah, just keep it short and simple to the point. We don't need to put details up there. Unless you live here, you don't need to know.
All right.
Hey, Kimber.
Cool.
Yeah.
We need to update the PO box for the applications and stuff for next year too. So don't forget about that.
Will you text to me with the correction you want?
We will, yes. It may not come, but it will get there.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Hey, Janice.
All right. Yes.
On your on your the Kimber idea with door decorating at the, well, I'm guessing she's thinking like 1525 Monmouth Street. I can only think of a couple places in town where seniors would be decorating their doors. Is that the kind of place you were thinking, Kimber, like our care facilities?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Just some way to engage them and involve them. I know some of those facilities bring the residents by the van full down for fireworks and stuff, and I just thought this might be an interesting and fun way to touch base with them.
So if that gains traction, I would say they shouldn't have to enter, and we like ask the fire department to go tour them and look for the best doors and just choose them. Those guys, guys already, all the medics know those people, and it'd just be a fun thing to be able to do. That was
I
was wondering when Neil would.
Neil's looking pretty stoic there.
Yeah, we can do that. There's only 3 of them. Yeah.
All right. I think he accepted that.
You knew he would. It's
All
good.
right.
My only other question is, you had said you didn't have to live in town to participate. Is that you're meaning county residents can participate, not Monmouth residents? Is there a delineation there? And why is it not just city, I guess, because it's city money that you're giving?
I think that came from a lot of, you can't please everybody. I learned that years ago doing this. There was a lot of feedback on the Facebook post about, oh, I don't necessarily live in city. I have an independence address, but I don't live in city limits. I wish it would include us. So I think our forte is anybody with an independence address. People are taking it that you have to live in town, per se, if they're on the outskirts, but they still have an independence address. Anything with an independence address is good.
So that opens up Buena Vista, just so you're aware. I mean, independence addresses are in Buena Vista. Yeah, Tino.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm all for that. I don't want to draw any maps with boundary lines on it. I think if they just have an independence address, they're good. Neil, did you have something?
Yeah. How are we gonna get in contact? You want me to get in contact with those facilities? I'm thinking we could do Heron Point or Brookdale at Heron Point or whatever it's called, and 1525.
there's the care facility at 202 South 9th, but it's memory care, and I don't know how that. Yeah, I'm not sure how that would go over, but how are we going to get the message to them?
I think you should deliver it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right.
I don't know, Janice. So Brookdale is in Monmouth. Do you want him to do Monmouth, the Heron Point place?
Nope.
So just 1525, Neil. Sounds like the only one. Unless we want to ask Monmouth if they want to throw one more category out there and they could participate, and we could be really, the same in our categories then.
I think we could one up Monmouth and just do Brookdale.
It's the wrong attitude, Aaron. We're supposed to be building bridges, not fences.
Independence rule.
All right. I'll talk to 1525.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Let's talk Duck Derby. So Duck Derby is going to change from what we originally had planned, but it's going to stay the same this year. So putting together, right? You laughing at me. So we had really good intentions of changing it up this year based on where we are, with our regulations and our restrictions. We don't typically have a huge turnout that comes down to watch the Duck Derby live. Getting it filmed, getting it done, and getting the production done that we had originally planned on, it looks like is not going to happen. So we are just going to revert back to doing it on the 4th, live down at the river. I already have enough people in place that will go and dump the ducks. Aaron delivered them late the other night. They're all lined up in my yard so we can check the counts on them. Which always garners a lot of questions from my neighbors. They think I have this really weird rubber duck fetish. There's 150, 200 ducks in my front yard. We did start selling them already. I went out to the Saturday market on Saturday. We tossed them into the fountain for a picture opportunity and pulled them out. A lot of people were excited to hear it was still going. And then Lisa has graciously offered to sell them at her shop during the week. And I know that she got some people in there. I want to say, last I had counted, we had sold $150 worth at $5 a duck. So they were moving pretty good once people got the word that we were there. I will be out at the movie theaters Thursday night to sell them, and again at the Saturday market next Saturday. And in between then, Lisa will have them at her shop to handle the signups for that. So really that doesn't mean any changes for us a whole lot, except for the fact that there's a couple of us that will run from the block party that we're at to go dump them in the river. We are going to start that at 4 o'clock. I staffed that with Aaron to make sure that would give him enough time to get the ducks out of the water, which really I think is the whole point of going down and watching. It's not so much for the ducks, it's for the show that you get to watch when they try to fish them out of the river. He's good on the timeline there to be able to get them out of the river and for us to get over to the movie that night. So I kind of feel like we're reverting back to the regular day of a lot of hustle and run here and run there and go there. So it's starting to feel like a real thing again. Anybody have any questions about the Duck Derby? Anybody have a boat that they want to jump on and go out there and help Aaron with?
I do need that. That would be a good thing. Or jet ski or or really flat bottom boat with no motor that likes to eat rocks.
Do you still have any?
Well, we'll get the
that night. Any drone plans to film it with a drone?
No, I know the ducks came from us.
At this point, no. I asked Courtney to reach out to Dawson. He is technically on our commission, but we haven't heard from him in quite some time. I'm not sure if she reached out to him yet or not, but I'll check in with her about that. It would be really cool to have it. It would be nice to get it, but realistically this year it's probably not on my top of my list of things I'm going to worry about yet.
I'll make a
it was a really cool
sheriff's office and see if they're interested. They have a good drone program now. It could kind of highlight their program and our thing at the same time. So I'll see. They've really been using them a lot in police work successfully.
Oh, cool. And you'll reach out to them?
I will.
Thanks, Chief. Okay. Good deal. Let's see.
If they want to catch some ducks for a little photo op, they got 2 boats.
I think we've been trying for the last couple of years to get them out there. But, okay, so Duck Derby is going to be different but the same. Let's talk about the parades that we had in the works. This one was kind of tough for me to swallow, but I think that we are going to have to scrap the parade idea that we had. I know that it was a lot of us were really passionate about it. However, the planning for it has not gone the way that it needed to. And we're too late in the game to, I think we're too late in the game to salvage that. But on the, I don't know, I struggled with this one, and I had a talk with Courtney because it wasn't sitting very well with me. I know that that's a big tradition here, and we wanted to keep with that tradition. And Courtney kind of talked me down a little bit and just said, you know, from event planner to event planner, sometimes you just got to let a component go. So it is not, it has not hit the planning stages of where it should be right now to make it happen. So I think it's just time to make that decision that it's not something that we're going to pull off at this time. It hasn't, we have not garnered enough participation in it to make it worth our time. And then hopefully, I think that, you know, in the long run, maybe it'll, you know, free up resources for you guys, Tino, Chief Mason, and Neil, that I know that march is going to be planned down there. So hopefully it'll free up resources for you guys. But with the lack of participation and organization right now where we sit, it's just going to be best just to call it off for this year. All righty. I think, Karen, I haven't checked in with you yet. Right before, maybe 20 minutes before this meeting started, I shot you just a little preliminary flyer. I'm not sure if you had any ready to go yet.
Yeah, no, I had just barely started. Yours is much further along developed than mine was. So I was going to be working on it, finishing tomorrow, but this is great. I'll take yours and we can run with that. And I like it. It looks good. So.
Okay, great. So I think you can see that I didn't have the locations on there because I wanted to make sure that they were secured first. So I can finish it up. You can finish it up. Whatever you want to do.
Yeah, if you send it, I believe, in a JPEG. If you want to send it to me, however it is that I can edit, yeah, I'll finish it up for you. You've got enough on your plate.
Okay.
I can do that.
Good deal. Do you have anything? I know you've kind of been working behind the scenes with all of that stuff. Do you have? You'll be able to handle posting our information to the city stuff and everything, right? So we just need to just funnel that information to you. Okay.
Yeah, I just need the information. Yeah, Ramon posts to our website, but and to our Facebook page, but and he translates it, so we'll have a translation as well. So.
That's awesome. My translation would not be that accurate. All righty. Let's see. Tino, Chief Mason, do you guys have any questions, any updates, or anything from your perspective? Anything you need answered? Crickets are good. We're going to roll with that, the big no.
I've got a question for PD. CSC, who's going to be staffing the Henry Hill location, asked specifically if there's going to be anybody available to help enforce and maintain distancing.
Was that a question for PD or for us, for the group in general?
For PD.
For PD.
I mean, there's going to be a commission person at every place,
Correct.
but let's say somebody gets a little rowdy. What do we do?
So I think our approach is going to be the same approach that we've had throughout the state at the direction and agreement of all law enforcement agencies throughout the state. We're not going to deviate from that. Education is going to be the continued approach.
Okay. And Janice, we said we were going to signage, right? That spoke to that.
We're going to what? I'm sorry.
I thought we were going to do some signage that spoke to that as well.
Yep, that's in the works.
Okay.
Yeah, there's going to be some signage about social distancing. We'll get all of that out there at each location. Yep. All right.
So Janice,
Neil, any questions? Yeah.
I just want to acknowledge and tell you it's okay to not have parades. I know it hurts, but it's okay.
It hurts.
Yeah. This will probably
Well,
allow
I appreciate it.
Probably allow us to do something at the fire station, which we were probably not going to be able to do. They're going to have some activities during their drive-through pancake pickup. They invited the police departments to come and do something, and we were like, I don't know that we can do it all. So this may be able to open an opportunity for us. So thank you.
Awesome. Good. That makes me feel better about it.
And I'm sorry, follow up on enforcement. Of course, if it turns, I think that the last portion of the question was what happens if something gets rowdy. I do still intend to have at least one officer assigned to each location to address any concerning behavior, of course.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks. I think that's what Shannon was looking for.
That's what
All right.
CSC.
Neil, any questions or concerns from your perspective?
No, I'm just gonna wait for the fireworks.
Well, they won't be from us this year.
Yeah, no, we got pancakes, no parades. We'll see how that works. Should be a good day.
All right, awesome. Tom, anything from your perspective before we sign off for the night and cross our fingers that this all goes according to plan?
No, nothing from the city side, other than what you guys have covered, other than just, thank you for doing all this. You didn't have to, and certainly most cities didn't. But going above and beyond here is greatly appreciated by everyone. I talked to the mayor today, and he's really excited about this as well. So, it's a testament to all that you guys do and how much you care about the community. So thank you.
Good thing. Kimber, any thoughts from you before we sign off?
No, not really. Nothing really specifically assigned to us. I'll just support you with the website and whatever else you need and amplify your messages on social media. So let me know if you need anything else.
Awesome. Oh, actually, I do need something from you, more than the website. Yeah. Can you head up getting the word out there for nominations for the vets?
Yes. Do we still want to try to do a flag raising ceremony?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
For sure.
Right. Okay.
Kimber.
Yeah.
I mean, do your little generators have a parallel kit?
For my what?
Your little generators, do they have the parallel kit?
They can be parallel, but I don't have the kit for it.
Ah, okay.
2,000. That's all you get. 2,000.
They're just little babies. Oh.
They're 2,000 E's to be specific.
Needs to be turned off. Okay. Unless anybody has any final thoughts, do you guys think that? Let me look at the calendar here. Do we need to meet one more time beforehand?
I was just going to ask that. Is there another meeting? Just going to wing it? Is it just commission people?
I think maybe just as a commission, what are you guys' thoughts on maybe shooting for next Monday night again? I think Thursday is going to be too late in the game, but if we check in 1 week just for a final check-in, I think that would be appropriate if everybody's okay with that. Karen, does that conflict with anything? Okay. Shannon, you had your hand up?
No, I'm just saying thumbs up. Yeah, that works for me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, if that works for everybody, we'll shoot for our final check-in on the 29th at 7.
Cool, thank you.
All righty. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.